What is going on, FA Nation? John Pepe here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook live show. It is a Wednesday. Got a 9-game main slate here to talk about. James, some day baseball action going on here today. You and Keith broke down this slate earlier this morning, last night, whichever way you decided to take a look at it. What are your thoughts so far today as things have broken down?
My thoughts are we have 9 games of baseball. That means there are 18 teams playing, 18 starting pitchers, 9 position players each. I'm not going to do the math, but
Sure.
that's there.
A lot
Those
of
are
options.
all things that are happening today, you know?
A lot of options. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, a lot of options. Pitching is a thing on today's slate after you get past a couple names, and then hitting is a thing, a better thing than pitching is. So it should be a very interesting slate. We've seen all the chalk donkeys play the same 2 teams first 2 days of the slate, or first 2 nights of the week.
Yeah.
It's gonna actually possibly change a little bit tonight. Nah, who am I kidding? Texas is getting all the ownership again. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how all this plays out. But it's a fun little slate when you just completely take out that pitching exists, and then it's fun when pitching,
Sure.
when you just remove pitching from the equation.
I mean, listen, Texas gets the Senzatella matchup today, so rightfully so. They deserve the ownership that they're getting here today. But we'll go over that. We'll go position by position, and we will build a lineup at the end of the show. Pitching, as you mentioned, Yamamoto is your top price starter. Got the Athletics in his matchup at 10-5. Chris Bassett, $9,500, has Tampa Bay. Clay Holmes at $9K against Pittsburgh, your top 3 price starting pitchers. When it comes to ownership at the starting pitcher position, no surprise to see Yamamoto up at the top. And then it's a kind of a mix match there from Holmes, Lodolo, and Taillon in that next 3 rostered starting pitchers. Lodolo obviously gets the White Sox matchup. Holmes gets Pittsburgh. Taillon gets Miami. How are you going about sort of the next tier down once you get past Yamamoto, who I know you're always a big fan of?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I don't know. I think Yamamoto has a massive ceiling, has a great ceiling, has struggled a little bit in 2 of his last 3 starts. I'm obviously really good hitting environment in LA. A's hit a lot of home runs. They hit a lot of home runs yesterday. They definitely could hit a lot of home runs in any ballpark, any given day. And also with kind of the lack of good pitching value and good offenses, I wonder. We'll see. I think Yamamoto's definitely in play. The next tier is obviously just, I think, the most interesting dynamic, because I think Clay Holmes is per dollar the best pitcher on the board. I would probably rank Clay Holmes as my top pitcher today. Everything for Clay Holmes looks really good. The matchup looks really good for Clay Holmes. Pittsburgh ranks 29th in OPS and WOBA, 30th in ISO, 22% strikeout rate as a team against righties. So I'm kind of on the Clay Holmes bandwagon today. The Bassett stuff, I'd rather probably play cheap Tampa than Chris Bassett.
Sure.
Lodolo, I think, is arguably the most fascinating pitcher on the day, because I don't think there's anyone in the world that knows if Nick Lodolo is good or bad. And I don't even think Nick Lodolo knows if he's good or bad. He's been incredibly up and down. He's pitching in a terrible ballpark. He has a great matchup. But if you look at the career of Nick Lodolo, that, by the way, we're in the 4th year of his career. If you asked me that, I would not have told you he made his debut in 2022.
No, he's dealt with injuries, right?
Injuries.
Kind of up and down, setbacks and whatnot. His numbers don't really look awful. He just hasn't been able to be consistent enough.
He cannot pitch at home. Dating back to 2022, 159 innings. So almost a full season sample, right? This is dating back to when he started. 293, 371, 491 slash. 27 home runs for largely a ground ball pitcher. It's over 1.5 home runs per 9 innings. It's like a little scary. I will obviously grant that it's the White Sox, and I don't want to like overstate that it's, or undersell how good of a matchup it is.
Sure.
I just do worry a little because he is inconsistent. And in a lot of different areas, like very inconsistent with strikeouts. The strikeouts have been better lately, but they've also been non-existent at times.
Sure.
And the ballpark he hasn't navigated. So, like, I like Nick Lodolo. I do, because there's also not a lot to like after him. But
I mean, he makes for an obvious pivot if you're iffy on him, and he's getting 30+% today. Again, it's Yamamoto, Holmes, and Lodolo are all over 30%. Taillon is near that at 27%, and then it drops off significantly to Patrick Corbin. So, you're kind of picking two of the four. Seems like many are playing Yamamoto, and then they're dart throwing one of Holmes, Lodolo, Taillon as sort of that next guy.
Yeah, I think Holmes is one. I would almost put. It's so hard. I
think O'Neal Cruz misses again. I would agree with you on Clay Holmes. That game does have a little bit of weather to watch. Nothing major. Again, there's just some rain in the general area, but winds also blowing in this matchup as well, 10 to 15 miles an hour. So kind of helping them out there too.
Yeah, I'm really in on Clay Holmes. I would almost go Taillon over Lodolo. And Lodolo's the better tournament play. I think Taillon is the safer play between him and Lodolo.
Sure. I mean, like, obviously, it wouldn't shock you if Lodolo had 10 strikeouts today, right?
No, and it wouldn't shock me if he didn't get out of the fourth inning because he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Sure. He's another, like, add him to the list of, like, can be great, can be terrible. Yep. I think Taillon is, like, safer, but also probably doesn't have the ceiling that because like I do understand the whole Patrick Corbin thing too, and there was ownership on Patrick Corbin, and there still is.
A little just under 20% right now on Corbin, who has pitched well on the surface, right? The surface numbers look good. Now you add in Colorado, who's been dreadful, and you would expect those numbers to continue to look good today.
Yes. So. Yeah, I got nothing really to add on.
We have championed Patrick Corbin Day for 4 years, and so far that has not worked this year. And
it's probably not gonna. And it's probably not gonna like. It's probably not gonna work today. Although there are some really good underlying stats for batters against, like, Patrick Corbin's. A lot of the stuff looks pretty lucky. Not the spot to test that theory. Just like don't use I'd rather almost avoid the situation in general. Like instead of like fade Patrick Corbin and just not use the Rockies as well.
Sure. Cubs line about Dansby Swanson leading off today. They're going up against a lefty in Weathers, so they got Dansby leading off. So.
We talked about that. Me and Keith actually talked about that last night. And I posed the Dansby idea because Keith was like, I don't know if they would hit Pete Crow. But I feel like hitting PCA 5th, you might as well just lead him off.
Because you're just putting him in the middle of the order versus the top of the order?
What is your reasoning for not leading him off if you're just going to hit him in the middle of the lineup anyway?
Well, because you're not going to hit him 9th, you know?
I know, but like,
No, I hear you. I hear you.
he's the fastest man on the planet. He's leading off every day, and I'm not like saying Dansby hasn't deserved it, but like this isn't like where they were hitting him 7th earlier in the year. They're still hitting him.
When I let him go from our Roto League, 17 games into the season, he had 0 home runs and 5 RBI, and he's hitting 197. Since then, he's hit 11 homers. He's had 25 RBIs, hit about like 340. So
good manager picked him up too.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because I have a lot of PCA and underdogs. So like I'm at least still able to like enjoy the fruits of believing in that guy. But I was 2 days. The day I dropped him, he homered, and he basically hasn't stopped hitting since. But that's a conversation for a different chat. Michael Lorenzen, another guy that we've like been peripheral numbers don't look great. Service numbers continue to actually look okay. 2-7 strikeout games in the last 4 for him. Shutout Boston. I mean, what do we think here with Michael Lorenzen against Houston?
So here's the Houston lineup tonight. You ready?
Yeah.
Righty, 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 righty.
Yep.
Lefty, righty, righty, righty.
Sure.
That is 8 of 9. I actually asked Keith last night, would the Astros, not that they have a choice because Jordan's not here, would they go 9 righties against Lorenzen? Because if they are looking at the numbers that we look at every 5th start, they would go 9 righties. Agreed. It hasn't gotten better. 215 ISO, 227 expected ISO, 321 WOBA, 340 expected WOBA for right-handed bats against Michael Lorenzen. It's the same stuff we've talked about for years. I am not this. Like, there's a lot of spots where we talk about the Lorenzen stuff, and we're like, why are teams throwing 7 lefties at him?
Yeah.
And he actually hasn't been good against lefties either this year.
No, I mean, in terms of batting average and like slugging, like on base, and all those things, they're actually better against righties this year. He also has a 23.3% strikeout rate versus righties, which is much higher than lefties. So, I don't disagree. I mean, but we've seen him in like lefty teams like actually do the damage against him, right? Like Baltimore scored a bunch of runs. Detroit scored a bunch of runs against him. You know, I get it. I don't disagree. The numbers are the numbers, but the service numbers have played well for Michael Lorenzen this year. So,
yeah,
well, you also say like, what's your next play then? Do you trust Pepio? Do you think Bryce Elder holds down Washington? Do you go up with Bailey Falter? I mean, it was like not giving up anything to lefties this year. Like, what's your
Falter is giving up stuff to lefties.
Is giving stuff up to lefties. I thought he was shutting them down as lefty.
No, he's getting hit.
Other way around.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because lefties are crushing him, but he's been incredibly unlucky with lefties.
Okay.
380 BABIP, 409 WOBA allowed, 295 expected WOBA, right? So like 11% swinging strike rate is really solid for Bailey Falter against lefties, just getting unlucky. The righties have actually been very unlucky. So he's allowed to.
That was the split I looked at. It's 195 batting average, 268 WOBA. Against righties for Bailey Falter.
Yeah, really 207 BABIP, 161 ISO, 180 expected ISO. He also has allowed a career high fly ball rate as well. So like, this is not. I don't think that this is the spot.
I don't want to go. I'm just trying to get where
Colton Gordon
could be the next guy.
Colton Gordon. And I don't know if you listened to the show this morning, but how old do you think Colton Gordon looks, and how old do you think he is?
He looks, I don't know, 29.
Oh, wow. You went way. I said he looks 40, which I guess I was being a little disrespectful. So sorry to Colton.
Definitely doesn't look 40 now.
well, whatever. I said he looks 40. He's 26 years old.
Okay.
This is probably the spot I'm going to go. And I haven't really wavered off it today. So looking at some stuff for Colton Gordon, pitching in the PCL, not easy, obviously. Moderate strikeout pitcher, 25% at the minor league level. So like good, but like how does that translate to major leagues is obviously 25 is not a lot, right? 44-ish% ground ball pitcher, 32% fly ball rate, 2.55 ERA, 3.94 xFIP. Righties have done the damage against him, but batted ball stuff, 377 BABIP against him at PCL suggests a little bit of unlucky, unlucky nature to it. 815 OPS. Lefties do nothing against him. 666 OPS. Kansas City rankings, John, against lefties this year.
Yeah.
26th in OPS, 27th in WOBA, dead last in ISO, 22% strikeout rate. Like on a slate where I think there's a lot of pretty bad pitchers, like I think Gunnar Hoglund is a good pitcher that's in a bad spot. Everyone else is also just kind of like mediocre, like talked Corbin, Lorenzen mediocre. Pepiot may get strikeouts, may not. One start to the next, like you never know with him.
Yeah.
Bryce Elder, bad pitcher who's got lucky. Mitchell Parker, the luck has clearly run out over the last like 3 starts. Gordon is the only pitcher there that like one we don't know a lot about, but like he does have a really good matchup and does have some really good peripheral stuff in an environment that shouldn't do like he shouldn't have, right? At AAA and PCL, you shouldn't have like
you should be having bad pitching numbers.
Yeah, so just something that I'd be willing to explore because if I'm looking to spend up on at bats, right? Like I know a lot of people that are playing Texas and a lot of people that are playing cheap offenses will just ignore all this, right? And use 2 of Yamamoto, Holmes, Lodolo, Taillon, like you said. It's just 2 of those guys, cheap offense, sprinkling some high-priced bats, whatever. But if you're looking for expensive offenses like the Cubs, right, who have a great spot against Weathers and bullpen, like San Diego, who have a good matchup, like the Dodgers, who exist and can beat any pitcher in existence, then I think it would be worth exploring. The Mets look great versus Bailey Falter, because I do think the Bailey Falter stuff is pretty fake. So this would probably be the only other spot I'd be willing to go to. I don't think there's any singular other pitcher that I look at. I'm like, yes, that's the guy.
Okay. Let's go on over to catcher then. Catcher position.
I did want to just comment that I saw Randy Vasquez's ownership in double digits and I audibly gasped.
Yeah. Well, again, we've been through this before. Last time against Colorado, we thought we were ready to rock again, and he's faced Pittsburgh and Colorado both times on the road and back-to-back good surface stat days.
I played the 2 home runs in that game, so like I can't hate
like
on it.
Tolia and
it was Tolia McMahon.
Yeah,
Tolia McMahon both homered in that game.
So not going to be doing that today, though it is the Angels. Not many power lefties in their lineup.
Yep.
All right, catcher position. Obviously, catcher. Let's just see. What's his price at? Is he in the lineup today? All right, so we don't know yet, but if Dalton Rushing's in the lineup, he's $2,200. If he ends up in the lineup today, is he just like the automatic catcher punt of the day?
Probably. Like the difference between yesterday and today, where Ballesteros caught or was in the player pool, he was $3,000.
Yeah,
we're getting a $2,200 catcher. Where first off,
a better prospect.
both super solid prospects in their own right. Obviously, Rushing's number 1 in the Dodgers system.
15th overall.
One did have Valente Beloso. One doesn't. Like Gunnar Hoglund has looked really good in his first 2 starts. But it doesn't really matter though if he's 2,200 in the lineup because that's
and in that lineup as well.
In that lineup. Now, I just want to comment on the Podinja point, 2,000 in FanDuel. This is not so much a FanDuel question because like where you can play him, it would be more for like excitement on FanDuel because you don't need to play catchers. Like we have to on DraftKings.
Right.
On FanDuel, like it's definitely more of a discussion.
Yeah, there's probably like 1, maybe 2 consistent FanDuel catchers that are worthy of first base. That's Kyle Raleigh, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. And then, I mean, the way Carson Kelly has played, or Will Smith, where they hit in the lineup, like there's conceivable reasons to consider them on FanDuel as part of your lineup stacks.
Yeah.
But obviously, the rest of the time in the position, you're not generally playing a catcher, so. Yeah. That's kind of the thought process there. So if Dalton Rushing's in the lineup today, I would be more than willing just to plug him in and $200 or $2,000 and take it. I mean, obviously $2,000 on FanDuel does allow you to really just play whoever you want.
Sure.
Because they already price everybody so cheap as it is half the time. So, but DraftKings, it opens it up a lot. If you're not and Rushing isn't in the lineup though, where do you look to start your catcher build?
So can we go up to the top and look at Sean Murphy? Would probably be the first place I'd go. The Braves really rank poorly against left-handed pitching, but we know that they have a very strong pedigree against left-handed pitching. Like how long have we talked about Ozzie Albies and how good he is against lefties, and he's been a 0 this year.
Oh, he's been horrific,
and he's 0, absolute 0. And the Mitchell Parker stuff, like again, he's gotten really lucky. Sub 4 ERA, 5.5 Sierra, 5.5 xFIP, 41% fly ball rate this year. Murphy is an elite power hitter, and specifically when you're talking about a guy who's gotten lucky, there's like clear regression on the way. Mitchell Parker only strikes out righties at a 12% rate this year.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Murphy would fit perfectly in Brave stacks, hitting 5th against a bad pitcher in good weather. I know there's a lot of like bad weather games around the slate. Like it's pretty chilly a lot of places. It's 80 degrees in Atlanta. So I like Sean Murphy. That would probably be the first name I would get to. Now, like if that takes away from spending up elsewhere, obviously you're not doing it. You're going down. Yeah. I know Warren just typed Cuero. Warren also typed like the second comment of the slate second comment of the show about Lodolo.
Yeah.
And how much he doesn't like him. So like that would be on brand for him to say that, right? Like doesn't
hitting
like
third in Cincinnati.
Yeah, coming off a 3-hit game, like definitely in play. I think Yainer Diaz is someone that you and I have talked about a lot lately. He continues to rake, and we get a really good split. Luis Torrens is in the lineup for the Mets tonight, hitting 6th. Luis Torrens has been pretty good. There's also a lot of peripheral stats that suggest Luis Torrens has been, it's crazy, but one of the more unlucky players in baseball this year as well. And then we have Miguel Amaya hitting 7th. There's like a really strong 3K range that I like if Rushing's not in the lineup and if you're not spending all the way up to Sean Murphy.
Sure. Don't disagree with you there. Higashioka is actually getting ownership today as well.
Yeah, shocker.
$2,700 for him against Senzatella. Again, Senzatella the other day, and I actually haven't looked at it yet, was minus 155 on the 7+ hits allowed. I think our guy Mark is in the chat. If he still is, let me know what that line looks like right now, because I'm sure it's got to be like minus 200 or something like that on the hits allowed for Senzatella there. So, anything else for us here at catcher?
No, and to your point, like that does check out the Higashioka ownership just simply because people are playing Texas again.
Yeah. Well, again, they're facing a pitcher that is allowing routinely 8 or more hits, and all starts but one this year. So, that's just screaming fantasy points availability there. First base, Ohtani and Freeman are up at the top here. You got Pete Alonso, Vladdy, Bush, Olsen up over there is a top price guy. Josh Smith is all the way up to $4,600. I mean, do you find yourself looking to spend up at first place?
What is the best?
I mean, this is just everybody go bet that. Everybody go bet that.
Yeah, it's criminal.
Let's go bet the +1. He was minus 155 last start. Now I get that was in course, but you're getting plus money. Guys allowed 7 or more hits in all but one start this year. So
what if I told you Antonio Senzatella has a sub-4 ERA on the road this year?
It doesn't matter. He gives up a ton of hits.
No, the hits. No. Hits does not matter. Just pointing it out.
What's his expected ERA? Is it 4?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's got to be 6. His expected ERA was like 9 the last time I looked at it.
Listen.
I watched Tampa Bay get 2 guys thrown at home plate on his first start of the year, and I had the over 2.5 earned runs. I was screaming. So, absolute nightmare.
There's no wrong answer here at first. You can play Ohtani, you can play Freeman.
There's a wrong answer.
You're saying there's a wrong answer here at first?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really care for Vladdy all that much.
Why? Pepio stinks against righties.
I'm just saying, of that group, he'd be ranked last for me.
But what if Pepio can't get righties out?
I don't think that we're going to get enough value to pay off a $4,800 Vlad Guerrero Jr. I think he's just not playing to his potential. We're not in the Tampa Bay ballpark.
Yeah, well, they scored 20 runs last night, not in the Tampa Bay ballpark.
That's okay.
Okay. I don't think there's a wrong answer. We'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
I think any of them. I do think Alonso is the best play in a Mets stack. Obviously Josh Smith looks great. I don't know what the best eligibility is in baseball, but first base shortstop has to be pretty unique.
So yeah, I would agree with you. It's kind of a glitch.
That's kind of weird. I guess the best eligibility would be if anyone ever got 3 positional elibility, like they do on FanDuel.
FanDuel, you guys have 3 positions.
It's everyone.
And a Uto.
But obviously Smith leading off. I was wondering what they would do because he pinch hit last night, so they kind of figured he'd be back. I hate that they moved Devin Carter far down. I wish they had Smith and Carter hitting near the top of the lineup.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Lowe, John, when we go down a little lower on the first base list, looks pretty good. Bryce Elder is pretty bad. Pretty bad pitcher. 180 ISO to lefties, 237 expected ISO to lefties. Lefties also have a 390 expected WOBA, and he does not miss bats. Washington, pretty good team against righties just in terms of ISO, 13th in ISO. I don't love the Nathaniel Lowe price, but I do like the lineup position, and I do love me some Washington stacks tonight. I think the top half of that lineup looks really, really, really good.
Okay. Below them, you have Gavin Sheets, you have Jonathan Aranda, who keeps hitting. If you're not in on Lorenzen, you got another righty in Christian Walker at $3,700 there. Any interest in that group?
Yeah, I just don't understand the Aranda price. I just don't understand it. It's just
I don't know. Nobody wants them for whatever reason. They don't price them up. Nobody wants to trade for them in our fantasy league. I just keep playing him.
I was gonna say I don't know why you would want to trade him.
Too many first basemen.
Ben Rice is gonna be a catcher in no time. Don't worry.
I got Dalton rushing now, so it doesn't matter. Picked him up in 0.3 seconds today. So underdog tweet went out on John's team.
Jonathan Aranda would be the guy for me because I don't get it. I like Christian Walker if you're searching for a home run. I'm good with Spencer Steer as well. I think Spencer Steer is live for a home run. Davis Martin has been pretty bad against bull splits, righties and lefties. pretty hard, like righties. He's been worse against in terms of like hard contact and stuff. So I would be good with some Spencer Steer as well.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, the Texas stuff is a little, again, like there's 3 Texas first basemen we could play. And I'm not sure, other than Smith, I want to play any of them. But like if Jock doesn't have success against Senzatella, do we just DFA him tomorrow? Do we DFA him right after the game? Like if Jock Peterson goes 0 for 3 off Anthony Senzatella, is he on the team tomorrow? Like,
I mean, they sent Jake Berger down. I don't know if you can send Jock Peterson down, but there's got to be something. Maybe IL him. The Red Sox just put Tanner Houck on the IL for elbows. I am sure this is more so like, hey, we need to just shelf you for a little bit, let you figure some things out, and come back. Maybe Jock, gets a back soreness IL designation or something like that, and they like open the spot.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I saw a tweet yesterday, side note on Tanner Houck. Since they started keeping record, there's only been 2 pitchers.
I saw
2
this.
instances.
I saw this too. He has both.
12 hits, 11 runs, and 2 1/3 innings, and both of them were Tanner Houck this year.
Yeah, I saw he had them both. I was like, oh, it's definitely not what you want.
Not what you want to be remembered for. So not shocked that happened. I guess we'll probably see Richard Fitz get activated off the IL or something like that and take that rotation spot. All right, yeah, Jock is bad. I mean, if you're not in
Dick definitely fits there, John.
He does. If you're not in Olodolo, Miguel Vargas hitting second.
Right? Dude, they have 3 interesting first basemen. Miguel Vargas, Tim Elko. I don't know if you've heard the Tim Elko story, but it's like dog has this. Do you know he has a statue?
That I did not know.
He has his own statue. What college was it? Whatever college he played for, he has a statue.
And we got Andrew Vaughn.
So if you're not in on Lodolo, guess what? There's 3 guys to choose from right here.
Agreed. Anything else at first?
No, but I do like the Vargas shout the best, by the way. And you can play him at third as well.
Third as well, yeah. All right, second base. If you're spending up, they got the 8-hitter Matt McLean now all of a sudden at $4,500.
That's cheaper. That's cheaper than it's been. Let me tell you.
That's true. Altuve hitting second. Nico Horner's there. I don't know. Again, not a position I don't think we really, outside of Ketel Marte, I don't think we're really spent up at second at all this year.
This is unequivocally maybe the worst position of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, I to a point where I actually understand people just plug in Marcus Semien. I even get it. I get it. It's the first. I get it.
If there was a time and a day, right? Like this would be.
He's hitting 5th against a guy who has not got many outs, and so yeah, it's not. I still hold out hope that Ozzie Albies figures it out and the long-term success against lefties. But boy, he's been terrible. That's probably it for me over 4K. I think Luis Angel looks pretty good at 3,700. Semien, you could always play and pray that Brandon Lau, who is now unable to hit baseballs, figures out how to hit baseballs and takes Chris Bassett deep again.
Do you have Cronenworth versus Hendricks at 4K?
I think the price is terrible for Cronenworth. I don't hate it because the lefties have absolutely killed Kyle Hendricks this year. Like absolutely.
Yeah. I mean that's been the target, right? So
yeah. They've absolutely demolished them, but he's just like he's just like a whatever base. He's like the most whatever baseball player ever. Sure. Your boy, would you go back to your boy Kyle Farmer hitting second tonight, John?
Yeah. Listen, I don't mind him. Again, where is he down here? $3,500.
25. Sure.
Yeah, 2,500. Sure.
And also Ha-Seong Kim, 23. I think Ha-Seong Kim, I'd be more likely to punt Kim than I would. But
Yeah, if he's in the lineup today, for sure. He should be ready on the man.
Yep.
That'd be an easy plug. Get him and rushing in there, $2,200 and $2,300, and play whoever you want.
Yeah. I don't think Ray Stack is crazy, Anthony. But Chris Bassitt's only allowed like 1 home run this year, so that's obviously a little concerning.
Sure. Third base, Machado, Riley, Garcia's up here, getting an over 4K, Yon Moncada. What do you Josh Young coming off a lot of power, $3,900.
So Riley's my primary target. I am beside myself that you just dissed Yohan Moncada like that, but I'll let it slide. He's like one of 2 lefties. That's who you want against Randy Vasquez. I actually think he's probably viable here because he's
to his credit, 5-game hits.
He's been good, dude. He's been good. And Randy Vasquez is the luckiest pitcher of all time. Like literally, there's no one that's luckier ever in the history of baseball than Randy Vasquez. And he raised his K rate from lefties from 2.5 to 4%. He's up to 4 based on that rocky start. But Riley's 1 for me. Machado's 2, Moncada 3. Caminero had the big grand slam last night to put them over the top. You can obviously always play Junior Caminero when he's this cheap. Josh Young, I'm proud of him because it wasn't, he had the lefty and then he homered at Freeland in the first and then he hit a home run against the righty.
He's just a good player, like that's just what it is, really.
I am a little unsure if he's a good player or not.
No, he is. He's a good player.
We'll see in like a couple weeks when he's not healthy again and like unable to stay on the field.
Well, health is a difference. There's talent. Health is different than talent.
I think he's fine. He's definitely better than his brother. I'll say that. R.I.P. to Jace Young. He's back in the minor leagues.
Javi Baez is hitting that way. You don't need Jace Young.
True. Salute to Javi Baez and all of his real statistics. Young's going to be actually not as popular as I thought he would be. Paredes looks pretty good.
Connor Norby.
Yeah, I mean, coming off a big game, and Tyone gives up a lot of power. So you'll never hear me say a bad thing about Connor Norby. I think Vientos hitting second is really interesting because he has been good lately. And obviously the Mark Vientos of last year was Babe Ruth against lefties. Like that was the best player anyone's ever seen with their 2 eyes or 4 eyes, however many you have.
Big second half of the year for him.
Yeah. So if you want to play Vientos this cheap in a Met stack, I think that makes a ton of sense.
Sure. Anything worth below for him there? Espinal hitting second. Jonathan India's leading off. We talked about Vargas already. It's probably it for mentionables.
Your boy Barger hitting 7.
Yeah. I mean, he was sitting cleanup the other day, so yeah, worst spot in the lineup now. Shortstop. You mentioned that this was you gave a Pokemon reference on the preview show.
Dude, this position it's loaded today. We got Bobby against a lefty. We got Mookie who's back. Ellie late game heroics in his own ballpark against a righty. We got Lindor hitting from the left side. We got Abrams who's been absolutely awesome lately and just in general. Dude, Zach Nato leveling up to like hit righties the way he has this year because we've known him to be like good player, great against lefties, but like could use some work against righties. Nope, that's not the case. He's been
if you remember before the season started, I was doing a bunch of underdog drafts and I had messaged you, Matt Sells, and Howard Bender in our group chat. I was like, why is Zach Nato going in like the 23rd round or whatever it is? Like, oh, well, he might start the year injured. I'm like, sure, but he almost had like a 30-30 season. So like, is he real or, and it looks real. Looks real.
Dude, like his home runs the last 2 days, Michael King, really good pitcher.
Yeah.
Dylan Cease, really good pitcher. Like that guy hitting that way against righties unlocks basically
he's 6 homers, 7 stolen bases in 23 games.
It's crazy. Then you got Smith leading off, Dansby leading off.
Yeah.
Jacob Wilson, the power hitter, leading off.
I know, right? I mean, I missed the 2 home run game for Jacob Wilson here.
And then you had the sub 4K, which I called the Charmander tier, like Pena and Bichette leading off. Both homered yesterday and both look really good again. So yeah, I went with the top tier Charizard, the mid tier Charmeleon, and the sub 4K were a little Charmander, because this position is absolutely loaded. I think you can't really go wrong. Everyone's playing Ellie, and I completely understand it. It's a subpar pitcher in the best pitch hitting environment for home runs in baseball. So if you want to play Ellie De La Cruz, I love Lindor. I completely understand why people would love to play Josh Smith at leading off against Senzatella. Like there's really not a bad answer here.
Yeah.
Other than the field playing Kyle Farmer as the 5th highest shortstop, that's definitely, I feel like, the wrong answer. Like if you play him at second, don't actively play him at short. Like don't do that.
Obviously, if you're not playing Lodolo, Chiefs Meadroth there leading off at 31.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mentioned Farmer already. Again, that's probably it at short. Outfield, a position where always there's like infinite amount of plays. Yep. Again, if you wanted Ohtani at 65, you can go there. Jackson Merrill, Tatis, 61 and 6K for them. Tucker, obviously, even in a lefty-lefty matchup, is fine against Weathers at 63. Wyatt Langford hitting second at $5,300. I can't really say enough of the top group here.
Yeah, I'm not going to add anything. There's not
much more to say.
What do I add? I add no value here. Play all of them. You could play literally all of them. Yeah, Padres lineup just came out. Tatis and Merrill are in it. Yeah, play them both. They're good.
They're talented players.
Yeah.
Again, PCA hitting 5th with the lefty on the mound. James Wood probably hits about 500 feet today.
Dude, I'm telling you, these Nationals look good, dude. They look good.
Every time I click on James Wood, I do expect him to be hitting like 300 with more than 11 home runs, because when he does hit a home run, it's like very far. Still a 900 OPS though. I just feel like I thought he would be a little bit better, but his numbers are really good, so I don't know.
He has like 900 OPS and a 530 slug.
11 homers, 5 stolen bases. Like, you can't really ask for more, but I feel like my perception of him is that he's like hitting close to 300, and he's not for whatever reason. So
because when he hits a home run, it looks like he's done it. Like you said, he's hitting it into the mountains. It's leaving the state.
Yeah. Kyle Stowers.
Yes.
He homered again.
Yeah, he's good.
Another guy that's really good.
Yep.
Got him at 44. Let's see. Ozuna versus a lefty, as bad as Atlanta's been, at $4,300. You mentioned Pepe not getting anybody out. I mean, Springer continues to hit the ball fairly well. You know, homered the other day, 3 RBIs. So don't necessarily hate the Springer play.
Dude, this tier is crazy. I would love to this tier is great.
Pajes. Yeah.
I mean, Adolis looks great. I think Adolis looks awesome. Senzatella's been really bad against righties. And this year, Adolis Garcia, 205 ISO, 283 expected ISO, which has been the better split for him his whole career. Hitting
needs to make contact. He's currently the highest rostered outfielder on the day, Adolis Garcia.
Interesting. Well, he looks great. You mentioned Stowers. Austin Hayes hitting 4th off the IL against Davis Martin. Martin's not good against righties. Springer, you mentioned. Dalton Varsho, next time he just hits home runs. That's his job now. He just homers.
Jacob Wilson leading off again, as we expected.
Yeah, that's never going away. He's just now.
I was first.
Not first tonight. Evan Carter hitting 7th. That's sad. That definitely dings his value big time.
Yeah, Gavin Lux leading off. All right, because Friedel got hurt, right?
Friedel got hurt. Gavin Lux leading off looks absolutely great. Yeah, there's a lot to like. And then you get to the value tier. Dude, Eli White leading off tonight for the Braves. He's been really good this year for Atlanta. And I think, him leading off does make sense, because you're getting, this obviously you don't have the lefty for Verdugo. Yeah. And again, maybe this does add a little meat to the bone when it comes to the Braves lineup. They're actually trying different stuff, right? We're not just all right, let's just plug the same guys in every day to the same
Yeah.
positions and hope they turn it around. No, Ozzy Albies is hitting 6. Maybe that wakes some people up. Like, oh wow, someone named Eli is leading off. Like, maybe I should get going here a little bit.
Sure.
No offense to people named Eli.
Simpson's leading off. He's 34. Starling Marte's hitting 5th.
Pirates lineup, John.
O'Neal Cruz?
Not playing.
Yeah. You might as well just put him on the IL at this point. 3 straight games. Put him on the IL. Call up, I don't know, Jack Swinsky still on the team? Like, I don't know.
No, he is in the minors. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't he probably be the guy that gets called up? So
probably, yeah.
Will Benson's good for a hot stretch every now and then. He's $30,000.
Nothing like a good Will Benson home run at Great American.
Yeah.
To get you excited about Will Benson again for him to hit 100
for a week. Yeah, for a week. Yeah.
Tyrone Taylor. Yeah, Tyrone Taylor hitting 7th. He's been really solid lately. But that's like it. Fairchild's in the lineup. We know Fairchild has like decent success against lefties, but I don't think you need to go there.
All right then. Where do we want to start?
Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes and
I mean, it just depends. Like, who is your favorite cheap offense?
I mean, honestly, if we could just get the Dodgers lineup with Rushing and Kim, it wouldn't even really matter. You could just play those two and spend up everywhere else. But
yeah, it doesn't look like we're getting it before the end of the show.
No. I mean, I would expect Kim to play because the righty's on the mound, and
I agree. And he's not Chris Taylor.
Not right. He's not Chris Taylor. So
then if we're gonna start doing that, I mean, I think it would probably make sense to explore the Yamamoto double spend, right?
Yeah, just do Higashioka for now because like fine doing that.
Yep.
Now we have $4,200.
Yeah, and endless money. Shortstop is definitely a position that we're gonna spend money on.
Okay.
I guess it just depends on which, because I truthfully cannot give you there's no like wrong answer, I think, at shortstop.
We do like a $2,900 Miguel Vargas.
I kind of want to play Vientos there, but
I mean, did you care if we played Vargas at first then?
No. It just depends on the rest of the build. If we're not playing Lodolo, I am absolutely fine playing people against Lodolo.
You said, are you going Lindor here then?
Yeah, I kind of like the Mets, dude. I think the fly balls are concerning for Falter, and I think the peripherals are concerning for Falter as well. And then we could just live in that beautiful, beautiful mid-tier range where like you can just play anybody in the outfield. Like, I mean, there's so many good plays here, dude. Adolis, Springer, Ozuna, Stowers, James Wood. Like, there's not. I feel like there's not actually a wrong answer in any of those plays.
I feel like a lead off Lux, and then get you Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff kind of looks good, dude.
Sure.
It looks good.
I'm okay with it. Yeah. Again, obviously the only like concerning thing is the Falter 190, 260 Woba to righties, but I mean,
yeah,
if they're fake, then they'll overcome.
180 ISO to lefties. He has a 18% strikeout rate to righties. He only has a 8% swinging strike rate. No, 207 BABIP. Like, there is no, all the batted ball stuff is pretty bad for him.
Okay. Well, then we got Holmes, Yamamoto, Higashioka, Vargas, Kim, Vientos, Lindor, Garcia, Lux, and Langford. Obviously, if we get Rushing in, we'll have $500 more, and that would give us $800 more to kind of play around with. Maybe we move up off of Adolis here and get you, Hayes or something like that. Rooker, maybe another 500. So, like, this PCA, Wood, Rooker would be the group, I guess. Be the guys we get to if we went off Adolis there. So, all right. Good luck, everybody, with your lineups. You know where to find us in the Discord. We got the 7-day free trial going on. We'll have the preview show out tonight. No live show tomorrow because it's the early slate for baseball, but we'll be back live on Friday. Until then, we'll see you later.